Hi guys, just an update here. It's a while since I've posted one of these videos about the home network that I have here. Um, I moved house a couple of years ago. We bought a new house. So I was doing a bit of work to the house, getting the cables and stuff in. The Cat 6 cables. I've only just got that finished recently, so I'll just give you a bit of a tour here on what I've got going on. Um, the garage in the house here is attached. It's attached to the house, so it's actually pretty useful. It was a perfect place for a new 36U cabinet. You can see here. I'll just open it up. So I bought a new cabinet for everything. Down the bottom, I've got my existing 3 kVA UPS APC. It's not currently working because it needs new batteries, so I don't actually have it connected at all at the minute, so that's something I need to do. Above that I have Citrix Hypervisor 8. It's now called Citrix Hypervisor. It used to be called Citrix Zen Server. I've been using Zen Server for years. I've tried other things recently like Proxmox and stuff, but I always keep going back to what I know best. That machine is an i7 with 16 gig of RAM, and it has a Samsung SSD 500 gig, and that's the main disk for running VMs, and then it also has a 2 terabyte mechanical disk, and that serves as a sync drive for Google Drive, a local sync drive here at home for Google Drive. Virtual machines on there, there's quite a few. Bitwarden for my password manager. I have Home Assistant. I have my email server. A few other different machines there, virtual machines running. A couple of test media servers and stuff. Above that, I have just a monitor there if I ever need to connect into the Citrix box locally, which generally would never need to happen. On the right of the monitor, I have a disk station, a Synology disk station, my DS215J, and I used to use this for kind of main storage, but this now is only used for security cameras. So it's the NVR for the 3 security cameras. I have 3 real security cameras, IP cameras, and that's what that Synology is now used for. I also record off-site. Obviously, if if there was a burglary and this unit itself was stolen, that would pose a problem. But the cameras also record off-site. Up above that, I have another Synology. It is a rack station, RS214, and that's the main storage for the house. That has 2 Seagates, 4 terabytes each, running RAID 1. Actually, this Synology here has one Seagate and one Western Digital, and they are 3 terabytes, also RAID 1. So 3 terabytes for the security cameras, and then 4 terabytes for the storage for the network. That gives me, with the security cameras recording 4K, that gives me about 3 weeks of storage, which is fine. And then off-site, I record a lot more off-site because it's a lower quality stream that goes off-site. Above the Synology, the rack station, I have the main ISP router. Well, it's not provided by the ISP, it's provided by me, but it's the main router for the ISP. It is a Cisco 891F, and that I've tested that router will run at about maximum at about 400 meg. I'll talk about the internet connection in a wee second. So this router is just running PPOE. And then I just have a trunk coming out of that, carrying the the WAN VLAN. I have 32 public IP addresses on my link here. Above that, I have WatchGuard Firebox X550E. That's the hardware, but I've installed pfSense 2.3.5 if I remember right on this. So this is running pfSense. It's It's the newest version of pfSense. I'm trying to get that back to the. It's the newest version of pfSense that I can run in this because it is only 32-bit hardware. So at some point I'm going to have to upgrade that hardware. Above that, I have Cisco, my main switch, Cisco 3750G PoE, which these things are fantastic. And the price the price you can get them for on eBay is absolutely fantastic. It is the PoE version, as you can see there, PoE 24. And the reason for that is I have quite a few PoE devices. Here's my 3 security cameras. They're PoE. I have my access point, which I'll show you in the house. It is also PoE, and then I also have 3 hubs, smart hubs for the home automation, which I also use PoE for those, which I'll show you how that works when I go into the house. And then above that, a bit of cable management there, and then we have the patch panel for the house. So, like I say, I bought this house about 2 years ago. It took me a while to get around to getting all the bits and pieces I needed to install Cat 6 throughout the house. Obviously, it's it was a bit of work involved in that. Cutting holes in the floors and bringing cables through, but thankfully that's all finished now. And this is the patch panel for all the data points in the house. So I've got 24 cables, Cat 6 cables in the house. First 4 go to the sitting room, the living room behind the TV. So there's 2 double points behind the TV, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 double point in the kitchen, 4 points under the stairs, and then a double point in each of the 4 bedrooms. Takes us up to, I think, up to 20, and then the last 4 cables go all the way up into the attic. But they're not terminated, they're just for future use up there. So that's a fully populated Cat 6 panel. You can see on the wall, you can see that's the purple cables going up the wall there, and then they just go into the house. If you can see, there's a hole there, and that hole was existing. That takes the cables in between the floors, between the ground floor and first floor in the house. The cables on the left there's some Cat 5e cables there as well. I had them in first there for the, you can see 1 running to the front security camera. There's 2 going to the back security cameras, and there's also 1 going into the access point, and 1 goes across to the OpenReach fiber terminating equipment in the hallway, which I'll show you in a little minute. So that's the cabinet. Let's talk about the internet connection I have here. I have, lucky enough, last year I had fiber to the premises installed, and that's using OpenReach GPON network, gigabit passive optical network. That network, the connection is capable of up to 330 megabits downstream and 50 megabits upstream, but the current package I have is 160 megabits downstream and 30 megabits upstream, and that's with Andrews and Arnold. And they say this Cisco 891 is doing that job of ISP router, so it's just doing PPPoE using that one of those Cat 5e cables that goes across to the network, or the fiber terminating equipment. Over here, this is my solar setup. That you'll see a previous video of mine in an old house that we lived in, talking through this setup. I still have the same setup. It still runs the brana.ie website over here on this Raspberry Pi, and then obviously the solar batteries are down in below here. So nothing's changed on that since the previous video, other than obviously it's in a different house. Below that I have just a bit of workspace here. I currently have a Raspberry Pi here running TV head end, and you can see there are a couple of DVB T2 tuners. So, and that's what this area is kind of for, just for kind of a bit of a work area. I'm just going to show you here. We have a lot of automation here in the house, and that's what one of the things we use is Home Assistant. which is absolutely fantastic. And this is what it looks like. So I scroll down through here, and we've got, I can switch on and off computers, the different sockets I can switch on and off, and then this it can all be automated as well. And then there's automation scripts. You can see there's the 3 security cameras. There's all the various scenes for the lights, Philips Hue lights. That's the solar battery voltage, which says 12.5, which, yep, 12.5, so that's recorded here as well. The heating system, we have the Hive smart heating system. So you can see there's the heating, the hot water, downstairs heating, upstairs heating. And then there's all the various automations. Like we have, the lights will come on automatically, the outside lights come on automatically at sunset and various different things like that. Home Assistant's fantastic, and it's one of the virtual machines I have run there. You can also see that's our alarm system. It's the Yale smart alarm system. So we've quite a few smart systems, and it all hooks into Home Assistant, which is fantastic. I'm just going to go into the house then and show a bit more. So this is where the fibre actually comes into the house, and this is OpenReach supplied ONT, optical network termination equipment, I think they call it. So you can see here where this is, it's where the old telephone master socket used to be. So we don't have a telephone line here now at all. There's no copper cable coming into this house at all. It was entirely replaced with the fibre. So that's the fibre coming in there, and that's just a single SC connection there, and then that is the Cat5e carrying, the gigabit connection that goes across and into the Cisco in the garage. So it's all just going in. It just all comes through with the old BT master socket used to be. So that's why there's no, aside from the power, there's no visible, there's no other visible cables, because this cable that I installed going to the garage, that goes up the wall and across under the floors upstairs, so it's all nicely hidden away. Up on the ceiling here, you'll see my access point, Cisco Aeronet 1041, and that has 2 SSIDs on that. There's the main LAN, and then there's the guest network, which only has internet access and doesn't have access to anything on the main network. Under the stairs we have the 4 cables, the quad outlet that I mentioned, the 4 cables that I mentioned, and the purpose of those is for the smart hubs. So we've got 3 smart hubs here. We've got the Yale smart hub for the alarm system. We have the Hive smart hub for the heating, and then we have the Philips Hue for the lights. And you'll see here, these all run on PoE. So we use these little PoE splitters here to be able to provide, I think it's 5 volts for that, and then these two are, these two are 5 volts, and then that one's 9 volts. So this is the PoE splitters I've picked up for doing that. There's a previous video, this is the Hive heating system down here, and I have a previous video about that. One thing has changed slightly since I made the video. Well, 2 things have changed. There used to be a switch here, just a fused spur, but I've changed that to a socket. And the reason I changed that to a socket is because if we have an extended power failure, I can actually plug the heating in to an extension lead and plug it into the inverter powered from the solar panels, so that we still have heating and hot water in the event of an extended mains power failure. The other thing I've done is I've installed this Hive smart plug and for the immersion heater, and the reason for that is I wanted to, we've got a hot water, we've got hot water and heating controlled here. Now this is the hot water that's this is provided by the boiler, but we bought an electric car, and since we bought an electric car, we got nitrate economy 7 electricity tariff, so we have half price electricity through the night. So I wanted to also have the option of using the immersion heater, and using it like controlling it using the Home Assistant and everything else. Now my initial plan to do that was to get it to change this Hive single channel Hive receiver and swap it for another one of these, so that I would have this hot water control the hot water from the boiler, and then this one I could then connect it out to a relay, or sorry, a contactor, and control the immersion heater from this. Now the problem with this is, the problem with that plan, that would have been perfect, but the problem is Hive, whenever you've got Hive multi-zone, you're only able to have one of these dual channel receivers, so you can't have two dual channel receivers. So what I done was, I still wanted it to be controlled by Hive, by the Hive app, and to have everything together within the Hive app. So what I've done is I've used one of the Hive smart plugs here, and this is controlled within the Hive app and scheduled within the Hive app along with the rest of the heating system, but this one controls the immersion heater. Now this plug is rated for 13 amps, so in theory I could have connected the immersion heater directly to this, but with a load of 13 amps I don't like that. I prefer that to be hardwired. So what this actually does is it operates this contactor here in the consumer unit. So when that comes on, I'll just do that. You can hear the noise of the contactor coming on there, and you can hear there's a slight buzzing from just the noise from it, but that's the immersion heater on, so that the actual current going to the immersion heater doesn't actually go through this. It goes through this 20 amp contactor up here, and you just hear it going off again now. That's that off. So that's how I control the immersion heater via the Hive app. I'll just go upstairs and I'll show you the way that I done the Cat 6 points upstairs in one of the bedrooms. So this is one of the Cat 6 points in the bedrooms. Now I've put one double point in each of the 4 bedrooms, and this is how I've done it. I've just put it beside one of the existing power outlets, and I've used these dry lining boxes. Really useful, really simple to use, and very useful. You just cut the hole, basically just cut a mark around the box, cut the hole with a pad saw, and then you put it in, and then you click the tabs out like that, and then they just clamp onto the plasterboard. Now to get the cables to these points, what I had to do was, obviously the cables were coming underneath the floor. So if I can, I'm not going to lift the carpet now, but I used a Cavity Master drill, which basically you drill a hole, a 100mm hole in the floor, and then you buy there's steel plates that then sit into that hole after you're finished. So you create lots of access holes, and I probably drilled, to do all this work, I probably drilled over 30 of these, and that's that's how I got the cables throughout the entire house. So here you can see where I've actually drilled a hole, if you can see that, where I've drilled a hole here, because I had to bring the cables up through the wall, and to do that I had to drill a hole big enough here to fit a right angle drill in here, to then drill down through the floor inside the stud wall, and then that allowed me to bring the cables up through. And then I have put the section of wall back in here with a bit of wood in the back, and then I've just filled it all in, and then sanded it, and that's it, ready for painting. And that's how I've done that. I'll show you another example in another room. Let's see if I can get down in behind here, and you can see down there's another example of a socket there, of one of the outlets there, and that one's in use, and you can see, if you can almost see, there's not really enough light. Let's see if I can turn on the light. So, no, there's not really enough light there, but no, you can see where I've drilled the hole there as well, and that's another outlet there. So there's a double outlet in every bedroom. And then those outlets, all those cables come back to this patch panel here, and that's how that all fits together. Okay guys, any questions, let me know. Cheers.